Hey guys, how the hell are ya? And welcome back once again to another episode of Mini Bottle Monday here at Arnold Drinks. My name is Arnold, and tonight I drink. So tonight, I am finally getting to try Clyde May's Original Alabama Style Whiskey. This is a little 50 milliliter that I picked up recently, and it is 85 proof, 42.5% alcohol by volume. Could not really find any information on mash bill online or anything like that. Admittedly, I didn't look too hard. It's probably out there. But one of the things that I did find out from doing a little bit of research is that it is aged for 4 years. So, okay, we've got a little bit of an age statement online. That bodes a little well. So let's give this a little bit of a swirl and let's see what we're in for with this. Right off the bat, a little bit of like that sort of baking spice note. And a lot of people sometimes ask, what do you mean when you say baking spice? And what I mean by that is, you dip your nose in and you're greeted with something that smells almost like baked dough, but just has a little bit of like a cinnamony kind of spiciness to it. And that's definitely present here. A little bit of fruit there too. What is that, green apple? Yeah, green apple, pear, that sort. That's actually a pretty decent aroma for something that's only 85 proof. Maybe I've just been spoiling myself too much lately on barrel proof stuff, but that is rather nice. Yeah, a lot of that sort of baked dough note, a lot of green fruit in there. Something else in there too that I can't quite place, almost like it's got a very, very subtle, like, what is that? It's like, it's not caramel, it's not toffee, it's kind of in between. So it's almost like it's got a little bit of the sweetness of the caramel, but a little bit of the complexity of the toffee, for lack of a better description. All right, cheers, let's go in. Definitely getting something like a fresh corn note on the palate that wasn't really present in the aroma for me. So it's fresh corn alongside that sort of baked dough note that I was getting, that baking spice note. Green apple and pear are a bit muted on this first pass. That finish is lasting a little bit longer than I expected too. This being only an 85 proofer, I would expect for that finish to be somewhat short, but that's kind of lingering a bit. Let's go in again. So a little bit more of like a bright grain note kind of popping on this second sip. I don't know how better to describe it, because you know how you sometimes have fruit notes that just seem a little bright, they seem a little like in the front of the palate, and they seem to pop a little bit more. They're not like super rich and dark, they're just light and lively. And that's kind of what this is like with that grain note, for lack of a better description. That is different, that is interesting. Let's go in again. Yeah. Bright and lively baked dough on the forefront. You've got that green fruit that's in there, but man, there's a lot of that fresh kind of dusty corn note at the forefront as well that just kind of goes through the entire experience, really. So I'm not quite sure how I dig that. Like, I sometimes dig a corn note on whiskeys, but that one is just a little bit different. Like, it's not like how, like with Abasolo, for example, how you get a lot of that corn note and it's pleasant and it's enriching anything else that's in there. This is just distracting a little bit. It's not necessarily a bad whiskey at all, it's just that one note is kind of really fighting for dominance in there a little bit. Let's go in again. I mean, yeah, final thought on this. I feel like This is a solid whiskey. I don't feel like this is anything really to write home about. I feel like I've seen this on the bottom shelf at a few stores, and I feel like that placement might be a little warranted. It's not the most complex thing in the world. It's not the most interesting thing I've ever had in the world. It's somewhat easy sipping, but at the same time, there's a certain thing about it that I don't like, and that is the fact that that corn is just really pushing everything else away. Any sort of cinnamon note that's in there, that baking spice note, the green apple notes, the pear notes, really kind of anything else is just a little bit muted compared to that dusty corn note. You know, some people might hear that and be like, oh, that totally sounds like that's something I would be all about, and more power to you. Maybe you should seek this out. Maybe you should give this a try. Me, myself, I wish it had a little bit more of like, you know what I would probably love is if this had like a little bit more malt in the mash bill. I kind of feel like that might elevate that flavor a little bit and maybe make it more of like a pastry kind of note that's in there instead of the sort of dusty corn and baked dough thing that you're getting here. So it's not bad. It's not amazing either. It's just kind of slightly better than okay. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Tons more of this content to come, and as always, remember, take what you do seriously, do not take yourselves too seriously.